Hey guys, in this part we are going to be looking at one of my favorite concepts I like about JavaScript. So we are going to learn all about the fetch API in JavaScript. The fetch API allows us to make HTTP requests, like getting data from a server, posting data, and working with APIs. An API, it is termed as it means an application programming interface. Okay, so A stands for application, P for programming, then I for interfaces, or for interface. Okay, so you will if you would like to work with APIs, if you would like to get data from APIs, if you would like to require to send data to an API, you should use the fetch API in JavaScript. There are also other tools you can use, like Axios. It is somehow better than fetch API, but fetch API, it is built in. Okay, so there is no need of downloading other things, okay, in order if you want to start communicating with APIs. Okay, so let us by the end of this course you will know how to fetch data, handle JSON, work with the post requests, manage errors, and even use asynchronous JavaScript. So you are going to be to learn how to use async and await, okay, for cleaner code. Okay, so let us start. So the fetch API is a modern way to make network requests in JavaScript. So before the fetch, developers used something called the XMLHttpRequest, which was more complicated. So fetch makes things simple and uses promises. Okay, so it uses promises, but those ones, they are somehow advanced. Okay, so you will get to know about them when I release an advanced course about JavaScript. Okay, but right now let us first learn what is fetch API, how to use it. Okay, so but just know it uses promises. Okay, so let us look at the basic syntax of the fetch API. Okay, so here we use a fetch or fetch API. Then down here, we use fetch. Then inside here we need to provide some things. Okay, so we need to provide an input, which is the URL. Okay, the URL. Okay, so here it is going to return a promise. As you can see here, it returns a promise. Okay, as you can see here. Okay, so here inside here we need to provide the URL. So our URL, we can provide HTTPS, then we can provide //API dot example.com. So example.com. Okay, .com there. Okay, .com, then /data. Okay, data. Okay, so for you, you are going to be working with this API. Okay, you are going to be using this API. Okay, this API. But for me, I'm going to use another API that I'm going to develop. I'm going to create using Node.js. Okay, so I'm going to come back after creating my own API. Okay, that I'm going to use here. But for you, you are going to use this URL. Okay, you are going to be using this one. I'm going to create my local API because I don't have internet connection right now. Okay, so I'm going to come back after creating my own API. Okay, so guys, I'm done fixing my API. I've created an API using Node.js and it is running in the background. Okay, so this one I'm going to be working with that one. Okay, so here I have the endpoints or the URL to my API. So here you are going to be using these ones. So we are going to be commenting out these ones. You are going to be using this one. So here you're going to be using your API here. So for GET request, you are going to be using this one. For GET request, for you are going to be using this one, and for me, I'll be using this one for GET requests. Okay, I will be using this one. Okay, so for post requests, for sending data to the API, we are going to be using this one. So let me just comment out this one. So for sending data to the API, for you are going to be using this one. Using this one endpoint, okay, the URL. So for me, I'll be using this one, my API to this one. Okay, so That's how we are going to be working with the fetch API. Okay, so we are going to be starting with getting data from API. Okay, getting data from the API. So I'm going to be using my API, and you are going to be using this one. Okay, just copy out this one, write down this one. Okay, as it is. Okay. So in order to fetch data, we use the fetch. Okay, so we use the fetch function. So this one, it takes in it is going to take in our URL. Okay, inside here it is going to take in our URL, and remember it returns a promise. Okay, so the response, it is in form, it returns a promise, and this promise, it contains the response. Okay, so we are going to get it like this. So inside here we are going to provide our API, our endpoint, and in my case our URL, and in my case I'll be using the my API. Okay, this one. Okay, my API, and for you, you should write here your API. Okay, you should write it here, your API. Okay, for yours should be like this. Okay, but mine, let me remain with this one. Okay, remained with this one. Okay, we are going to get different data, but the concept will remain the same. Okay, so after there, it is going to return a promise. So we are going to add the dot, then after getting the response. Okay, then after there, we don't need to proceed. Okay, we don't need to proceed. Remember, getting data from the API takes some time. Okay, so we need to wait. After waiting, we are going to get, so then after getting data, after getting the response, we are going to put this response in a variable. Okay, in a variable which is the response, and then we are going to return this, we are going to get it into, to turn it into an object. Okay, so we are going to get the JSON format of this one. Okay, the JSON format of this one. Okay, and it is going to be in form of an array. Okay, so after getting this one, after getting our response, so here after doing that, after changing it into an object format, okay, we are going, then remember it has been in the JSON format, so we need to turn it into an object format. Okay, so after there, we are going to add the dot, then after there, after turning it into an object format, we are going to get to access our data. Okay, so we shall be able to access our data, and we store it in this variable. Okay, so after there, we are going to console out our data. Okay, we are going to print our data. Okay, we are going to console it out in the console. Okay, we're going to print it out in the terminal. Okay, in the console. Okay, so after doing that, let us save our program. After saving, we go in our browser. Boom, we have seen our data. Our data is right here. So as you can see, our data is right here. Let me show it to you very well. So our data is right here. Okay, as you can see, it is right here, and if we try to expand, we are getting our data here. For me, on my side, I have this data. Okay, user 1, which is right here. Name, it has a name. User 1, it is an object. There is a name here. The value, it is an object. Name Rashid and age 17. Have another user, and this one is object. It is an object. Then here there is Omar and age is 13. Okay, as you can see, we can also expand here. As you can see here, as you can see, there are others. So it is an object, as you can see. So if we try to access this same URL, you can also try with yours. So let us copy this one. Let us copy this one. Copy. For you, you should copy yours. Yeah, you copy yours. Okay, copy yours. But for me, I'm copying mine. Okay, so copy yours and come in the browser here. In the browser window, open a new tab, and then you paste it there. Okay, your URL, and you do that. Okay, so for me, I'm getting an error. Why? So let me paste it there. Here, you should remove these strings. Okay, you should remove these quotes. Okay, those quotes, remove them there. Okay, remove them there. Okay, so it should be like this. Okay, so after there, you press enter. So when you press enter, we get this output. So this is the data we are trying to get using the fetch API. So this is the data. Okay, this is the data. As you can see, this is the data, and if I try to expand, you can see. So this is the data we are trying to access. Okay, we are trying to access. So that is it. That is it. Okay, for your on your side, it should be different. It should be extremely different. Okay, but the same concepts apply. Okay, so that is it. That is it. So let us try to see how we can get data, how we can send data to an API by using the post request. Okay, so let us comment out this one. Let us comment out this one, and we comment out these endpoints like that. So let us comment out this one, the your API 2, and also mine. Let me comment it out. Okay, let me remove these comments. Let me okay. So it is now we have now a variable here, your API 2, you have it there, and your endpoint. Okay, you can access it. So we store this endpoint inside this API, this here variable, and also mine, I store it inside my variable, my API 2. Okay, variable. Okay, so we are going to write down this one. Okay, so I decided to write down this one behind the scene because I didn't want to waste a lot of time. Okay, typing out this one. Okay, so remember, typing as you are talking is very tiresome and time consuming. So here, this one, it takes in inside. So this one, it also returns a promise. Okay, it returns a promise, but inside it takes in the URL. Okay, it takes in our URL, uniform resource locator. So we provide it. Okay, we provide our URL. Okay, then there are some options that we need to provide. So in it, this one is the request initialization, this one. So inside here we provide some options. Okay, these options, they are right here, they end here. Let me first let me break down them like this. No, let me break down them like this. So we have the method we are using the post method. Okay, as you can see, the method, so we are posting data. Okay, the post method, and then the headers, we have the headers. So here we need to specify, under the headers we need to specify the content type. So the content type we are sending to the API, we are sending it in a JSON format. So application / JSON. Okay, in a JSON format. So after there, we need to provide another option, which is the body. Okay, so in the body, what do we have? So in the body, what do we have? Let me show you something. So in the body, we have the following. We turn this one into a string. Okay, so we use the JSON.string file. Okay, to convert everything inside these parentheses into a string. Okay, so we get this one. So it is an object that we are converting into a string. Okay, so we get this one, we need to convert it into a string. Okay, a string format. Okay, by using the JSON.string file. Okay, so after doing that, this body, inside this body we have the title. Okay, so we have the title, which is a new post. Okay, then in the body we have this is the content. Okay, and then the user ID, okay. Oh, Ctrl Z, what's happening? So Ctrl Z. So here the user ID, it is 1. Okay, so after there, after our body there, after our body, so this is the end of the fetch. Okay, the fetch function, it is the end, it ends there. After there, remember, it returns a response which is in form of a promise. So we need to use the then we get our response, we store it in this variable, which is the response. Then we get it, we return the response. Remember, after sending data to the API, the API returns a response. Okay, a response. Yeah. After returning a response, we store it in this variable, which is the response. Then we convert it into a JSON format. Remember, even we convert it into a JSON format. Okay, so after converting into an object format. Okay, so after converting it, then we get that data we have converted. Okay, and then we console it out onto the screen like we did before. Okay, when we are getting that data. Okay, then we print it we console it out. Okay, in the console. Okay, so that is it. So let us try to, so here I'm using my API, so here I'm using my API too. So for you, you should use your API, okay? Your API, so type out this one, okay? Your API to type it out here, okay? Type it here like this. Let me remove mine, your API too. So yours should look like this, okay? Should be like this, okay? It should look like this, okay? So mine, for it is somehow simple. It's somehow like this. Control Z, like this, okay? So stick with yours. So after there, we're going to save our file, okay? So after saving, let us go in the console and we'll see if we have got our data. Okay, so let us press Ctrl Shift I. Have we got our data? Not yet. So let us. So here we are using. No, we are on different. Okay, let us go back here. In our file. So here, when we go back in this tab, which we opened using a live server, we get our data. So here, for my API, I created it that where it returns this response, okay? And this response contains an object, okay? An object, and inside this one, inside this object, we have the message, which is here. It is here, data received is successful, and then we have another one, the received data, okay? So we have the received data, and this received data, there is the body, which is this is the content. So this is what we sent to the server, okay? So this is what we sent to the server, and the server has returned it to us, okay? To show that the data we sent, okay? So here we have the new post, the title, which is new post, and the user ID, which is 1, okay? So we send this one to the server, and the server returned this message, okay? This response, okay? So that's how we can post the data. That's how we can send data to an API, okay? So the fetch sends the request, and the first dot then this first dot then this one, the first one, okay? The first dot then this one converts the response into the JSON, okay? The JSON objects. It converts it into the JSON objects. After converting it into the JSON objects, this second one takes action, and this one gives us the actual data, okay? And this is how we retrieve data from an API, okay? So for this one, okay, this one we retrieve the response data from an API, okay? Like here, when we are getting data from an API here, okay? When we are getting data from an API, we use this one, okay? We use this one. We use this one, okay? Here, okay? This one, okay? So here we are getting data. We are getting data from an API. So after down here, after sending data to an API, we get the response, okay? We get the response, okay? Which is the response, okay? So here we are sending that data, okay? First here. So I think you get the concept. Okay? You get the concept. So this string file, JSON.string file, I think you have got it. So we convert this one, the past body, into a string format, okay? This one, okay? This body into a string format, okay? So I think you get the concept. So let us look at the way of handling errors. You know, fetch only rejects on network errors, okay, and not on HTTP errors, okay. These errors are different, which means if the server returns the 404 or 500, okay, fetch still resolves it. So we need to check it manually, okay. So there are errors, okay, so that we need to check manually. So for example, for this one, okay, when we are using this one, JSON place order, where is it? JSON place order, typical code, this one, okay, URL inventory, okay. So with this one, in order to practice with it, for HTTP, in order to handle errors, we handle them like this, okay. So just store it in your mind that we handle them like this. So here we get the response here, right here. Let me test with this one. Yeah, will it work? Response. Okay, so let us test with this one. Response dot the blah 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 blah. So here we can use we can get this one. So instead of converting it directly to the JSON, let us first remove this one. Let us first remove this one and we'll put that curly brackets like this. So we can check it like this. So we can check if if this response, if there is no this response dot okay, if it is okay, okay. So if it is not okay, okay. So this one response dot okay, it means the response is fine, okay. But this one, the not, this one means not, okay. So if it is not okay, what should we do? So what we do, we need to we can throw a new error, okay. Throw new error. Throw new error. Then here we can pass in the error that http error, okay, like that, http error, like that, okay. So otherwise, so here we can use we can just return, okay. We can return. Otherwise, we can return our response just JSON. So if everything is fine, okay, so we can return response dot JSON like that, okay, like that. So that's how we can handle errors like in a fetch, okay, when fetching data from an API, okay. That's how we can do it, okay. So we can also check the status codes. We can check, yeah, we can check them like that, okay. And this is the best way we handle both network errors and failed HTTP responses, okay. That's how we do it. That's how we do it, okay. So this one, yeah, that's how we do it, okay. So let us see how we can use the asynchronous and the await, the async and await, okay. So using the dot then can get messy with lots of chained promises, as you are seeing here, okay. With the chained promises, it gets a lot of mess, okay. So that's why we can use the async await to write a cleaner code, okay. So let us see how we can use async await. So here let us comment out all of this code, like this. So let us comment it out, all of it here. So let us comment out all of it. So here let us create an asynchronous function. This function is going to get us data, okay. So here we use the async, then here we use the async function. It is like this, okay, async function. Then here we need to provide the name. So here we want to get our data, so for the parameters, let us not pass parameters, okay. So after doing that, let us use the try catch, okay. Let us use the try catch like that, try catch. Then inside here we can try getting our data, okay. We can try getting our data, and if we don't get it, we are going to access these errors. So we can console.log, we can get console.log, access our error, this error. So here we can provide the error, which is right there, okay. We can console out the error. So inside here we can now put in we can now get our data. So we get it like this one. So we let the response we set it equals. Then here, remember I told you before that in order to get data, so in that process of getting data from an API, it takes some time, okay. It takes some time which could not be recognizable, okay. But just know it takes some time, okay. So we need to first await running all other. Remember, you can be connecting to a database, okay. But remember, this program runs from top to bottom, okay. So for the program, for JavaScript, it will not wait for this program to end, okay. It will just run other programs, other piece of codes, okay, down, which are descending, okay, which are going down, okay, which are down this piece of code, okay, as this one is is finishing. Okay, and after finishing, after JavaScript has run the rest of the code, this one it will then run. This one will then run. Okay, that is it. That is it. So we need to wait. We use the await. Okay, we use the await to wait. Okay, for this one to end. So let us first fetch the data. We are going to wait this one to finish. So we are going to use my API. Let us use my API. My API, not my API too. Let us comment out. Remember, we are fetching the data, so we should use my API. You should use your API, and I should use my API. Okay. So let us comment out all of this one. Let's do this like that. Okay. So here, right here, I'm using my API like that, and after there, we are going to come down here and we say if this one, then we put our error checking. So if we use response, if response dot okay, if not, if it is not, then what are we going to return? We are going to throw, let us do this, do it like this. We're going to throw a new error, like that, a new error. Then here we are going to print failed. Okay, failed to fetch, like that, failed to fetch. Okay, so after doing that, then here we are going to if we get no error, then we are going to get our data equals await. We need to wait to convert it into a JSON. So we're going to await response dot JSON. We need to convert it into a JSON format. Okay, so after doing that, we are going to console out dot log our data. Okay, we're going to console out our data. Okay, if there is no error. So after that, after doing that, we can now call our get data. Okay, like that. Okay, so it's simple like that. Okay, so as you can see, this one is not somehow complicated, even if we are using this one. Okay, this one is more explanatory. Okay, it can be explained easily. Okay, it can be explained easily than using the dot then. Okay, so it is better to use async and await. Okay, which is asynchronous JavaScript. If we save our file and we go in the browser, okay, let us see if we can get that data. Okay, so is there anything I'm doing wrong? So here we need to use these parentheses. So let us save again and we go back. So if we go reference, my API is not defined at get data. So what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong here? No. This is my server. You should not look at it. You should not look at it, guys. So my API is not defined. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it is capital. So remember, this is capital A, my API. So if I save it again and go back here, as you can see, we are now getting our data. So we are now getting our data. As you can see, we have got our data. Okay, as before, it is there, our object is there, so we can do whatever we want with our data. So we can do whatever we want. So that's how we can use the Fetch API. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and please share the videos. Share the videos, please. Help me fight this algorithm. You know, I faced a lot of problems in the previous times when someone tried to play with my accounts, and they all got stolen. Okay, but please, this time I want to fight the algorithm as soon as possible in order to recover all the losses. Okay, please help me. Okay, thank you so much.